So welcome back to Halo, level 5, assault on the control room. Exactly what we're doing. We're going to go assault the control room. First, I got to put on my headset so I can hear myself, because that's all the audio in this room entirely. And I've tried to do this intro, I don't know how many times now, just because I keep messing it up. I just was incredibly uncomfortable at first. I couldn't get it right. I was just mumbling my sentence as I was going through here, which is nothing different from normal. Alright, let's go. Oh, damn, he already got plasma stuff. Yes! Stuck him. Alright, so, trying to get back into the swing of things. It's been a few days, and I ran out of videos to edit, because 4 days of uploading straight, I think, which is rare for the channel, at least. And I was like, oh crap, I forgot to record, because I had been busy just not recording. And normally it's easier to just do a session like this. Kind of, it's popular with the YouTube channel with the Game Grumps. They do it kind of like this. They do a session of just recording, and then you turn out videos. And it's easier, honestly, because then you have days to relax, and then you can think about what you're going to do next. Like for this, I had to go and do a little bit of Halo research, because I spout a bunch of, you know, Halo content during this that may or may not be correct entirely all the time. Because, part of a few things I said earlier, it almost got hit by it. It would have been instant death if that thing hit me. I was saying a lot of things about, I don't want to get in that turret. A lot of things about the grunts, who, remember their name, they're called the Ungoy. And then the jackals, who are called the Kidgar. But how did I miss them earlier? The issue I said earlier that was just incorrect was the timing of when, for the grunts, why they were introduced into the Covenant and their planet. If you refer back, I said their planet got blown up. It wasn't until after, it wasn't until after there was a little bit of civil conflict that they had their planet glassed. That was because they didn't get along with the jackals, or the Kidgar, which are the guys with the shields, who was shooting at me up here, actually. And, yep, I just went and did a little bit of memory refreshing, just because there's so much, like I said before. And here comes a... Ooh, first off, we'll blow him up, but where's the... There's an elite over here with a sword. It's a gold elite, though. There he is. Whoop! And yeah, there we go. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm missing as well and just not paying attention, mainly because I heard the audio all of a sudden for my game coming through on my headset, which I was hoping didn't happen. I had fixed the first time around. I kind of just play this without audio because there's no way for me to track it. I'm doing it on the console. I don't know how to set up all this tech stuff. All this tech stuff saying. Even though I use it every day. I didn't kill the elite though. Where is he? Did I? I didn't even pay attention. Oh, he's right there. Yeah. Get out of the turret. Alright. So, what I didn't talk about 2 seconds ago, besides all that mumbo jumbo there, was the Marines who actually were headed down, who flew over. Cortana said I didn't know they were still in this region. They're actually right down there. How many? 6? 7? Yeah, 7 Marines. So we're going to head down there anyway in a moment, because that's where this is going to lead to. A little advice, little arrows on the floor tell you where to go and which way you're heading. And it leads you to the control room. That's kind of how the arrows are designated. So if you're heading away from the control room, you'll see the arrows go the opposite direction. I'm pretty sure that's right. I hope it is, honestly. Alright. There we go. You always get left with one right up there. I can get them. I just don't feel like it. Lots of Marines here. There's no rocket yet. Oh, that's in the next area. I almost forgot. Whoop, there we go. Didn't even notice. I looked back at my computer because it flashed, and all of a sudden I see the hunters come around the corner. I have both of them rushing me at once. Fun. There we go. Got one at least. And again, not easy. So let's talk a bit about Chief, I guess. I talked about him briefly. He is, of course, our main protagonist in this story. One thing that I talked about with him was just about his armor and like brief descriptions of him. Didn't say, oh, in his childhood. Definitely talked about his childhood. I remember that. But we didn't talk about why is John special, and why he became like one of the main Spartans. In this case, as of Halo 1, you know him as the last Spartan. They don't really say it directly, but as of right now, he is the last known living. Not really. So before this, there was a plan of Reach, and that's why John and I said Linda made it off. And Linda was in, you find out much later, she was in just super bad condition. She was, like I said, burned and almost died. You do see her later though, so don't worry, she is alive. Let's hope this guy doesn't see me so I could get the melee. There we go. The grunt sees me, alright. But he is right. He's one of the best Spartans. He is the best Spartan. No, if you argue that otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. But he is a Spartan too. He's one of the original, if he is the original Spartan. Mind you, the Spartan ones didn't really pan out so well. I'll get into them a bit, or what the Spartan 1 age was. I'll say age, I guess that's not the right term. But I'll talk about them later. But why John was so important, along with the Spartan 2s. They were the first successful Spartan run. Kind of successful. A lot of them died, not only during, it was during their boot camp, essentially. They were training as kids, and the ones that died, of course, died and didn't make it to become Spartans. Others died during the process of augmentation, which I will also speak about later. Which augmentation is essentially, yeah, I'll get into that actually later, because it's a little bit of a longer part in there. Oop, come here. I like taking both of these just for the hell of it, because we don't really need to stick around here for long. Come on, Marines. All right. But why Spartan 2s, what they did was, as I said in a prior episode, they were taken as kids, and then what they did was they just trained and trained and trained. All they knew was kind of combat, physical technique, but also they still trained. What they said specifically, Halsey's like, we trained their mind as well, but in learning of combat. So like the Battle of Thermopylae, history, so, like actual known. And of course, the Leonidas stand with the 300 Spartans, which is Greek history for anyone who doesn't know. You should know that though. Great movies out there, like 300, and also why the Spartans have their name. Partially. Ooh, Marines are nailing me. Thank you, Marines. Took down most of my shield and part of my health. Thank you. Ooh, let me take that out as well. So what they did was they trained, and they... Ooh, I'm gonna die. Okay, this isn't panning out so well. And oh, by the way, I just completely glazed over it. We have the Scorpion, which is the tank for the human. Very powerful tank. You see the little dots on the bottom there loading. That means we're reloading the ammo. And you always have your machine gun. I'm just going to pick up some health though, because we've got a lot of fighting to do as we go. It's a good way of introducing the tank. There we go. Got some health. And one nice thing is they follow you. Usually they get out of the vehicles. But now we should get them all in their health pack, or their health pack. Their life will pop up where my face is, like you can see passenger. That's about the best spot though for it to go. They're usually not expendable, but they die very quickly. One of them already has 3 health. You just can't see him, but he already has 3 health. So the Spartans went through a whole process of training, and then before they were Spartans, they were young teenagers, and they had done a bunch of training sessions where they eventually gave John his own squad. He became squad leader, actually. So people always listened to John at a point during their training. That was when he met Kelly and Fred. Kelly and Fred were his 2 other Spartan members, who you do see in Halo 5, actually. They're his blue team. They're one of 2 members of blue team. And Kelly being one of Kelly and Fred both being his closest 2. I don't know why Kelly always seems a bit more of one of his friends compared to Fred. Kind of. Not really. They're both the top 2 of blue team. Because then there's Linda and I can't remember the other one's name. Yeah. So they went on training, and then when they were young adults, they actually went ahead and what was it? They just got their augmentation process done, which I say just get their augmentation process done. A lot of them died. And by the way, if you keep seeing stutters in the recording, that means something's going on. Actually, it's a lot of lighting issues right now. For some reason, I think I have one of the smart lights and it's updating and it's flashing constantly. So, but besides that, they went through the augmentation process. And what is the augmentation process, we can ask? It is a process where the Spartans got injected with a bunch of, I don't know the technical term. I'm just going to say DNA samples. Samples, though, we'll say chemical samples. Of genetic coding that kind of gives them an enhancement. So reinforced bone mass, enhanced reflexes, stuff like that. So they could take a hit from something which would normally break a bone of a normal human, but they can take the hit normally without any armor or anything like that, along with the enhanced strength, enhanced reflexes, eyesight. Everything was pretty much enhanced. So they are genetically modified humans, and they are the best soldiers and humans pretty much, in the sense that they're incredibly intelligent, physical strength outside normal parameters by far, and then you give them a super tech suit of armor that they didn't get right away. With John and them, like I said before, they don't get it until John doesn't get it actually in the book. They describe it when he meets Cortana, who we have here. He meets her, they get the new suit, and then with that, John and them, they do a training run in the full suit, because originally they get their half suit, is what I just call it, a half suit. I don't know if there's a general term. I don't know if it's the Mark 1, I never looked into that. However, the suit, it did, like I said before, enhance reflexes and everything like that. That was normal. But when they got the full suit, John gets a lot later. Like I said, he does that with Cortana. He uses, I think, yeah, he first gets the suit, which is the one we're wearing now. Yes, he should be wearing the Mark 5 suit at this point, and he uses it and trains with Cortana, because each suit is able to hold a full AI. And wow, I'm dead. Alright, we should be good now. So what I was saying again was with the suit, it was just a full suit, so now its strength was also enhanced, along with the use of energy shields and all that, because they took Covenant tech and modified it and put it on the Mjolnir armor, or yeah, the Mjolnir Spartan Mark 5 armor, which is what Chief is wearing right now, like I said. But that's not really more to John. I just want to kind of add in that little information, because there's a whole scene that he has with Cortana on that. Can you guys get back on the Scorpion? And that's the name of the tank, Scorpion, if I didn't say that earlier. There you go. All right. But towards Chief, why there was a few things that he was important with and why he became squad leader. First thing was when they were out, they got dropped off, the Spartans, as kids, into the wild, and they were to try and get back to base by just randomly being dropped off and giving a piece of a map. You can actually see this in one of the movies. It's the, it should be called, I don't think it was The Fall of Reach. It might have been The Fall of Reach, the movie. I gotta check. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was The Fall of Reach though. It speaks about, oh yeah, no, it should be, because it speaks about the Fall of Reach and everything, and the Spartans and what happened. But part of this is described in there. They were dropped in the wild, they were given maps and everything like that. Each was given a chunk of a map, so like a quarter of it, or not a quarter, that's actually a lot. They were given like a 30-second of it. And so they were to get dropped in the wild, regroup, and get back to base just randomly. So it was training their survival skills just in the wild. And a few things that they had already learned was, like, hunting as a pack is better than hunting by themselves, because they learned about that from Deja, which is the AI who taught them all that stuff I said earlier, so the Battle of Thermopylae and all that, and also teaching about wild animals like wolves for hunting and stuff like that. But during this whole time, eventually they find a group. They all group up together again. They get the map sorted. They find, though, a pelican, and the Marines who are by the Pelican actually don't look, they're not in UNSC regulated gear, so they take them as hostile, thinking that they were rebels who took over the Pelican. So they take it fully hostile, they take the situation, they come up with a plan to take over the Pelican, by hunting as a pack, using and drawing out the groups, the 3 guys, because they're fully grown men, and then of course they're young kids. They're probably, I think, 10 by this point at best. But they take back the Pelican, they fight them off by using tactics and everything like that that they were trained for. Should be a Banshee somewhere really quickly. I can't hear it because, again, I have the audio turned off. And a ghost. I'm more concerned about these guys. There we go. But with John and them, they take back the Pelican and everything. One constraint that they were told, though, was the last person to get to the Pelican and go... There's the Banshee. The last person to get back to the Pelican would have to walk the whole way back to base. Everyone else has to... Because they were supposed to group up, actually, at that Pelican. Everyone else could take the Pelican home. So the last person set foot on the Pelican, essentially. But because of the situation and how they took out the men who were piloting it, mind you, again, they thought they were rebels. They weren't, by the way. One thing that they find is that John, in the end, he makes sure he's the last one to step on the Pelican, so that if he had to take any form of punishment for it, or get sent back out and go back into the wild, that he would be able to, you know, take the punishment and leave everyone else so that they could get back safely. So one thing that, because so it's going to be Dr. Halsey, and when they get back to base, John is called to see Dr. Halsey and Chief Petty Officer Mendez, who is the gentleman who trains the Spartans in all things military, essentially, as they were growing up. But Chief Petty Officer Mendez. One thing that they learned from this is that with him, one thing that happens is they're interrogating John, like, why did you do that? Why did you beat up the guys? And he says they were in regulation. Here's a invisible lead. They weren't in regulation, so he felt the need to deal with them in that manner. Mendez asked, what should we do with him? And then Halsey says, let's give him a squad. It makes him squad leader. So one thing with that is, now that John is kind of ranking up, one thing he wanted, by the way, is to get the rank Master Chief Petty Officer, because he asked Mendez what is the highest rank an enlisted officer can attain. So that's what he does. He becomes the Master Chief. Well, that's also a title. Normally it's just a rank, but with him it's something special, just because every time someone hears Master Chief, they're like, oh, ooh, okay, almost got run over. Bad thing. Again, you get touched with this, you die. But with John, he does that. He achieves a lot, actually, as a Spartan, or first before he becomes a Spartan and everything like that. He survives the augmentation process that I said earlier. That, mind you, they drill into your skull. You can see that on a trailer for Halo Reach, actually, when you see a Spartan 3, it's Carter, which if you ever play Halo Reach, you see he's Noble 1. We'll get to that, though, when we get to Halo Reach. However, it is a painful process, and again, your body doesn't usually take it well. A lot of the Spartans also either died, or they became fairly paralyzed, like they couldn't move. They could only use, like, maybe their still mind was great. Their head, usually they survived mentally if they still survived physically, so their legs might have been unusable from the whole process. However, what they do state is that they would work, instead of being a field Marine or a field Spartan or anything like that part of the Navy, they would be more of a desk officer. So they went into that path later. There we go. Jeez, I don't know why I'm using this thing. Hold on. Okay, toss a frag at the Banshee. That'll work. I'm just going to go grab one of these, actually. There we go. I'm more concerned. I'm not really... You can destroy that, mind you. There's no real need. This one's... Actually, if you don't destroy it, it comes to bite you later on. There we go. Here we go for this. That's what I wanted. Just because it should do more damage. Alright. Head on inside. Ooh! Don't toss that grenade. I'm probably going to die a lot now coming up, unless the health pack... I don't remember if it's on this floor or the next floor. just more towards, like I was saying, again, I am stumbling through this right now, and this is my second time on the intro. I couldn't even get it right, probably because it's late, and also I haven't recorded a video in a week, so it always takes a little bit for me to get settled back into. One thing that comes up later with John, by the way, is his classification. He is a Spartan. Ooh, I missed him. I could have gotten around him, and there we go. There's my death, like I told you. Alright, while I wait for this one. Oh, he should be kind of far. Alright, I should be able to run through it, actually. There we go. Ooh, and the aim lock. Look at this. Ready? Whoop. Aim assist. One thing that you find out with John is his classification, like I said. He's classified as a Spartan 2. All his fun medals, because he is a highly decorated soldier as well, but you do find that he is classified as highly lethal. As far as I'm aware of, there's only 2 highly lethal Spartans, John, and one that you don't meet till later, which is actually your Spartan. Technically, you meet him as Noble 6. So in Halo Reach, he's a Spartan 3 actually. And he is, again, highly lethal, which means don't mess with them. So John and your Spartan, or Noble 6, are going to be those 2, and I think the only 2 that I know of. Mind you, in Halo Reach, we do get to do everything with him, and there should be a health pack. Yes, I'm going to probably keep this for a little bit. There we go. I needed an assault rifle. I was not doing well without a main gun. And there we go. Oh, yes. Finally get to kill everything quicker. Just spray 60 bullets of high shredder rounds. But yeah, they're highly lethal, and just don't mess with them. That's pretty much. And here comes the gold elite. There we go. That's why I kept the sniper partially, just because it's easier to do the headshot. And one thing to talk about, I guess now, is go to Spartan 3s. What was up with Spartan 3s? They still did the whole augmentation process and everything like that. One thing though, that I say a lot of things there. Ooh, God, I'm cornered. I don't know what I'm doing this for. There we go. This is all my own fault. I'm probably gonna die again. Whoop. Okay, that was bad. That was sloppy completely. I'm just not paying attention. One thing with Spartan 3s then. So Spartan 3s, and as I said earlier, again, I'm just starting to rumble through it all. The armor cost a lot. It was super expensive, and we were going through destroyers like crazy, frigates, everything, because Covenant ships like plasma torched through the ship. It took one discharge and then whoop, ship gone. So we were highly technologically outgunned, and also just numbers outgunned, because there are so many. As of right now, there should be 4 races. You should have your hunters, jackals, elites, and grunts. Don't think there's any others in this one. No, that should be it. I'm pretty sure those should be your only races. However, 1 human race versus 4 other alien races that are also highly technologically advanced, because they took Forerunner technology partially. Also, before they even did jackals, the Ungoy, not the Ungoy, the Kigyar. There we go. Ungoy are the grunts, all over there. They were already a space-bearing race before they joined the Covenant. I'm gonna get meleeed. Oh, whoa! Don't know where that came from. Normally I blame the Marine that tosses a frag at me, but I guess we'll deal with it now. But the jackals were already a space-bearing race. There we go. I should be back partially to where I was. I really wasn't far on the bridge whatsoever. And then the grunts are also shooting me at the side. But quickly, just saying how they're just more advanced, and then it's all us. But the reason why we were just burning through ships, and then all of a sudden, the Spartan armor cost way too much because of how much technology was in it. Mind you, it has, like, this suit has Covenant technology, which is also Forerunner technology, the overshields. And oh god, I am going to have a difficult time here just because I'm running through it and I don't have the Magnum. I might go back for it. Alright, hopefully we should be better. I switched out the assault rifle for the pistol and the Magnum. Only reason I did that was to keep the sniper, even though I'm out of ammo. It would be beneficial, of course, to have ammo. The only reason is because later on I'm going to use it. And back to what I was saying, because honestly, as I do the recordings, I've already edited, uploaded the other 4 videos, so all the way up to the silent cartographer. I have an issue staying on topic. I switch topics so quickly. But to what I was saying, and hopefully I get the point across by this point, one thing that we found, because it costs so much, the Spartan 3s and wow, that is such a long way to get to here. The Spartan 3s, they had like a half of a half suit, really. It was weaker, it was just heavier, and it was meant to, of course, absorb more damage than a normal Marines armor could or anything like that. But the specialty forces, so the ones that like special units, so like Noble Team and other teams like that, or Lone Wolves, so in the case before Noble 6 joins Noble Team, he already has Mjolnir armor. So when I say Mjolnir armor, by the way, it's Spartan armor. Mjolnir is Thor's hammer, if for any mythology, or as well if you're a Marvel fan, because there's Thor in there. He was Greek mythology, Norse mythology. So same, not really same, but still. They got armor as well, so that's why only select Spartan 3s were given it. And in this case, your other highly lethal, your Noble 6. The reason I tossed that there, by the way, is because of him. There he is. I'm missing him. I'm missing every shot. There we go. It's just because, again, it was super expensive, and one thing to give them was a little bit of an edge if they were showing that they were better. And one quick thing before I go off of Noble Team, because there's no reason to really discuss them until Halo Reach. The only one on that team who, all of them are Spartan 3s except for one, which is his name is going to be George. I don't know why I was going to say you're George. What the heck's going on there? I don't know why I was bugging out. But George is Spartan 2. He actually trains with John. They were all together. And there we go. Look at that. We have some sniper ammo again. There's a rocket. Not really going to take it. I'm just going to keep the sniper and the pistol and go ahead. But yeah, so it was quite expensive to deal with and all that. But also, I don't know if I not edited, but I corrected myself earlier. Okay, there we go. Don't know why I didn't kill him before. Was that, I don't know if I said the proper thing for the grunts / Ungoi. They were, like I said, forcibly put into the Covenant. One thing I didn't say was when their planet was destroyed or glassed. I think I said this already. I can't remember. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. They actually did that after a grunt rebellion. That was after the rebellion, because they were quite upset. The Jackals here find all other races kind of below them, especially the grunts, because the grunts have no power, like no political power, at least within the Covenant. And also just they're tiny compared to the Jackals. Jackals were already... How'd I miss? It was 10 feet, not even 10. Maybe I missed again. Can you get out of my face? There we go. Now, I'm sorry. The only way I'm gonna deal with that whole situation really quickly. There we go. Much better. In the shoulder. He's dead. Now I can feel happy and unsuccessful with myself about that. But yeah, they had no power, and the reason why it was just being a little more specific was their planet was glassed after. The whole issue that came up was with the whole rebellion and everything that was going on. The council had to, the council of the Covenant Council, it doesn't come into play again until Halo 2. You don't really hear about them at all. You don't, I think, at all hear about them in Halo 1. They had to instate an Arbiter, which again comes in Halo 2. But story-wise, an Arbiter is we'll say a special elite for now. He's the one who, whatever the religious hierarch, so, wow, again, I missed him. Ooh, I forgot. I'm running past these guys. There should be hunters there. There we go. Hello. You want to turn? There we go. Got him. But the hierarchs don't usually instate an Arbiter unless need be, because there's a whole story to him that we don't talk about him until Halo 2. However, they have an Arbiter show up. He's really strong. Just take it as a strong elite, and he has to essentially stop the whole rebellion going on, and he does. the whole rebellion was because the jackals and the grunts were fighting. They were doing a bunch of stuff. So, forgot all about the active camouflage lead there. Like the grunts and jackals, the jackals poison their stuff, and so the grunts, it just became a whole nightmare enough that there was all-out fighting between the two sides, and then the elites had to come and play, which the elites as well, the jackals and the grunts respond to. So that's why the elites were always the leaders of the Covenant, at least on the military side, because they were just tougher. An elite is almost what is equivalent to a Spartan in strength, I think. I don't know about, of course, senses and stuff like that, because those were also augmented with humans, and they should be stronger than that. But, ooh, he tried to stick me. There we go. But elites are quite strong and also menacing in the sense that they have 4 mandibles on their mouth instead of, you know, up and down like this. They have 2 and 2 on left and right. It's going to be active camo, guys. How am I missing him? Again, there we go. I'm going to go on old graphics, and there's a sword guy. Easier to see them, kind of. So I can see, I can't see his outline, but it's just easier to spot the guns. All right, we're going to head over here. But with the whole war, essentially, the elites and the Arbiter at the time stopped the whole rebellion, stopped everything. And why I was saying more specifically, during that whole rebellion to force the grunts to stop partially, was they glassed the planet. Or the grunts' original home planet. Okay. I'm active camouflage, so they should hopefully... There we go. Every time you pop off around, they kind of go to that section, because, you know, that would make sense, logically. And you should get a little surprise here. There we go. There's going to be... Oh, no, more jackals. But eventually they get along, kind of. The jackals were a little bit of a more aggressive kind of race. They're more in it for their own selves entirely. They didn't sign on to the Covenant for any religious kind of belief. They more... The reason why I brought the sniper, by the way. You take out that elite really quickly, you can get that Banshee that's up there instead of him taking it. And that's also an achievement for this Halo, is to drive a Banshee, or fly a Banshee, not drive. There's one that you can get earlier that usually people get, but I still have yet to be able to properly get that Banshee. So all I do is, oh, that one doesn't kill me. There we go. Because it doesn't take much to actually take out these Banshees with them. I don't know why I'm using all these nades. Hello? Oh, no. Had it, but I messed it up. There we go. But the jackals were more in it, and the jackal's name again should be the Kigyar. There we go. I was trying to remember. They were more in it as, they're like pirates, essentially. Just think of them as that. They originally had their planet. They were also wiped out by yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff I have to talk about. I didn't even think about that. They were originally they were a pirate kind of race, so they lived on an ocean planet. They would sail around. They lived in clans, and they essentially were pirates. They were just pirates towards the other clans. So anytime they came across each other, they were essentially just trying to thieve from one another. Oop! I flew straight into that. Be right back. This time I'll have an air battle at least, so we'll see that. One thing that, like I was saying, with the Kigyar, I'm just gonna say jackals, even though there are 2 forms of jackals. The Kigyar have, if they have a shield, or later on when they get like a sniper, which doesn't pop up until Halo 2. And then they're annoying, because if you play it on Legendary and you get shot once, no matter where you die, which I guess makes sense for a sniper. Mind you, it's very annoying as gameplay. Whoop! Nope. Oh, I forgot. I can pull left trigger for it, too. There we go. What I've been using is the bomb, by the way. Whoop. Oh. God, I thought I was going to die again. I was going to be very upset just because I've never really... I'm messing up on people that I normally don't mess up on. Back to the Kigyar again. Like I said, I get off topic fairly quickly. So they were originally pirates, kind of, and then they went on to being more together in the sense that they made a union so that they weren't stealing from each other, and then they focused on being a spacefaring race, so they would go and fly out and just essentially colonize as well. But one thing they began again with being pirates, so they were actually pirating, not really pirating. They were being pirates towards the Covenant, so they were like attacking Covenant ships. So at this point, it's just grunts and elites, and there should be hunters as well. They were being pirates either way, and they were taking the Covenant stuff. And eventually, the Covenant came at them with aggression, started attacking them, and eventually the Jackals had no other option but to kind of take like a peace treaty. And with the peace treaty, by the way, the benefit of doing the Banshee thing. Oh, with the peace treaty, let me say that first. Again, like I said, I get off topic. Peace treaty kept them in the Covenant, and then all of a sudden now they were able to start being pirates again, but towards humans. But they were safe with the Covenant in the sense that they had a whole thing with them. And then they just fought for the Covenant as well. They would and just keep fighting with them and doing their thing so that they didn't have to bother with the Covenant. Oh, there we go. So if you normally head towards this door is what I was going to say. Benefit of taking this Banshee is that not only here that you can avoid fighting the hunters, which I'm just going to do some little bombing runs on them. You can avoid fighting them. I'm not going to kill them. And you can just take out all this stuff, which does take a little less time. And then also you can head straight up there. You can do this another way if you have the health to do it, is you can come line up here, drop on this little beam that you see running here because it's flat, and then you could run down it and take one of the ghosts. Mind you, you still have to fight the Wraith. Benefit though is that down here, and I'm going to restock I guess for just a second because this is the end of the level. That's the control room up there. I'm going to head down here and restock. There's some Marines that, oh my goodness, okay. Well, he should be dead. There we go. Good surprise. Normally he's not here, but some Marines are here. You just resupply fully. Here's another terminal, by the way. That's mainly why I wanted to come down here, is to kind of point at it so you guys know. I didn't look at the skull earlier. There was a skull, but it was kind of out of my way. Not really. It was there. That was more out of my way than finding the other skull. But we're going to head up to the control room now. After all this long fighting going through area after area, we can now go and get full control. We've taken out pretty much everything. Oh, other benefit is that besides fighting these guys, you don't have to go and take an elevator and come out down there. Other stuff spawns if you do that too. So like there should be a bunch of Covenant who are defending this. That's why there's a bunch of turrets and stuff all around here. However, it is nice if you don't do that, because now I can just open this, run back to my Banshee fairly quickly, because music should kick in. And there are a bunch of Covenant here along with this elite who has a sword. Even if he swipes his Banshee once, it is destroyed. So that's one thing you want to avoid. They are an instant kill. It's quite annoying, no matter what you're doing, except for if it's a tank. I don't think I've ever seen one with a tank. There we go. Either way. Normally as well with a tank, you can just blow them up before they even get close to you. Be careful backing that thing up. You could die by it just touching you. Vehicles hate you. Think about if you have ever played Borderlands 1. You get touched by the vehicle, you explode. So just don't do that. All Covenant forces are gone. My stories are done. This is the end of the level. Welcome to the control room. Also, I'm sorry I stuttered so much on that, and there was so much like just going on. I'm still trying to get used to it. It takes a little bit. Also, if you're not feeling right to do it, it feels weird. This is a massive control room. It looks a lot nicer now as well in the new graphics. And there's the ring. It's essentially showing that it's orbiting around the planet. It's not that big, I'm pretty sure. It sits off to the side, actually, of the planet, too. It doesn't wrap around the planet. We're going to head over here. One benefit of having an AI, an advanced AI as well, that is based off of Dr. Halsey. I never said that about Cortana, is that you can plug her straight into a ring.
You all right?
Mind you, Forerunner tech. And now she's essentially learning what the ring is and what's going on, like with everything.
What sort of weapon is it?
What are you talking about?
And here we're finding out a bit more information on Halo.
How do we use it against the Covenant?
This ring isn't a
Yeah, you barbarian. Chief still has the military mind. He's trying to use it as a weapon if it's beneficial to him.
Covenant were right. This ring.
It's Forerunner.
Give me a second to access.
This is where we find out Forerunner's built
Yes, the
and a
Forerunner
fortress
built this
world.
place. What is
this is where we're gonna find out a lot more about what Halo is
No, that can't
and why she's gonna
Oh, those
do
Covenant
this.
fools. They must have known. There must have been signs.
Slow down, you're losing me.
You're losing me.
The Covenant found something buried in this ring, something horrible, and now they're afraid.
Something buried. Where?
The captain. We've got to stop the captain.
Keys? What?
What
The
do we?
weapons cache he's
There's a
looking
reason
for.
why
It's not
Keys
me.
is
We can't let him
you
get
couldn't
inside.
contact Captain
I
Keys.
don't understand.
There's no time. Get out of here. Find Keys. Stop him. Before it's
And
too
normally
late.
I'd say you don't leave Cortana inside the ring, but it's beneficial to do that because she can just lock people out. This one is a long level, and this is a very crucial level. It's really good. But I'll wait to talk about the ring and everything and why she said it's a shield world and what happens here, because a lot of it now will make sense after this level. Because I can start talking about the Forerunners specifically, the rings, why they're, what kind of weapon they are. Here's where they're telling us Keys transmission dropped. And you can see there's already Covenant here. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I get better at the not stuttering part, or at least kind of having a good flow of what I'm talking about. But like I said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the series, because honestly, I do enjoy playing this game. Even after, what is it? Being out 2001, so it's been 17 years. It's been long enough. But again, hope you all enjoyed, and see you all next time.